everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're coming back to the channel, that is. If you're here for the first time, welcome, and I hope you enjoy some of these videos. Before I start though, just hit the subscribe button and then you'll get updated. Excuse me. You'll get updated when I post new videos. Last video I posted was a little drive around the Scottish countryside while doing my job delivering to farms. You only saw a couple of the deliveries. I'm sorry it was a bit boring. 22 minutes of driving around the countryside and seeing me doing a little bit of physical work. But I do that sort of part-time just to help out a company. My main job is my own business, which I haven't discussed much about yet. One thing I have though mentioned a couple of times is that we're building a house in the Philippines. Now just a very quick recap. I was in the Philippines to meet my fiancée in July. I spent the whole month of July there, and by the end of July we'd got engaged. After being in an LDR for quite some time, we got engaged, and together in Clyde's name obviously we bought a plot of land and started to build a house within that 4 weeks. There was very little done to the house by the time I left in the end of July to come back here to Scotland. So I didn't really get involved in the start very much, apart from clearing the grass, which was a big mistake because I picked up an infection or some kind of rash from something I touched in the grass. I don't know. Maybe I'm allergic to Philippine grass, I don't know. But during the course of this video I'll put up pictures on either side, at the top here or on the left or the right or whatever, showing you the progress of the house. Now it's not a full-blown video about how we built the house, the costings and all that kind of stuff, and the reason why will become apparent at the end of the video, because although you'll see the progress of the house in pictures, maybe a couple of videos as well, you'll see the last picture where it's almost complete. The floor's in, all the walls done internally. Externally not, there's a reason for that, but internally all the walls are done. All the electrical fittings or conduits, I would call them, are all installed, but not the actual cables. None of the windows are in yet, and the door's not in yet, and the sort of false ceiling is not in yet, but the roof is on. So you'll see it quite complete apart from those things, and there is a reason for that, and I'll explain in more detail at the end of the video, but this will shock you. We started building this house in the beginning of October, the beginning of August really, the end of July, beginning of August, and it was being built on right up until yesterday, Saturday, the 20th, Saturday just passed, whatever date that was. And it's progressed very well in that time to get where it is today. But here's the killer. Within a month or two, it will have to be demolished. So all the building that you see up until yesterday is going to go. We've got to demolish it, or demolish what we want to anyway. The rest of it will be demolished for us. That's no fault of ours at all, because once we started building the house, everything was fine. We bought the land. We were aware of an issue with some of our neighbours fairly close to us, but we were told we were not affected by this, and that was the electrical company were building some new pylons and running cables quite close to our house, but I wasn't too concerned about it because there was some doubt whether next door was going to be affected by it. Okay, we might have cables fairly close, but you know, they're high up, high voltage cables, but they're high up, there's big pylons, so I didn't really think too much of it. And lo and behold, we got a compulsory purchase order placed on us, and confirmation of that only came through yesterday morning. So what that means is we have to give up the house. In Philippine terms, it's called we've been hit, hit a bombshell. However, the cost of the house and what it's cost to build it, they will compensate us for. They will compensate us for the price of the land, and then apparently double it. So financially, eventually, when we get payment from the electric company for the compensation, we'll be okay. So the amount of money that we've spent, or I've spent on building the house to this point, I'll get double that back. So I'll get my investment, if you like, back plus the same amount again, which is good, but it doesn't allow us to live in the house that we built together. We designed together, we thought about it together, we had hours and hours of conversations about how to do this part, how to do that part, what to build there, the design of the house, where to put the bedrooms. All that discussion all went on, and we all decided, or when I say all, me and Clyde decided, you know, what the design of the house would be, and that's what we built. So it's a real shame for us not to be able to now live in that house. And all the time I'm telling you this, there will be pictures coming up, we're showing you the progress of the house from start to finish. So I am still moving out there to the Philippines on the 1st of October, which is a week yesterday. So I'll be arriving in Cebu a week today, round about this time actually. And instead of moving into a house which was nearly finished, which I was hoping to do by that time, we'll be staying in an apartment. We found an apartment to rent. Very, very expensive apartment beside the beach. So, but I'll maybe mention in another video why it's not. It's an expensive apartment, but we are not paying the full whack for it. So I'll maybe explain what I mean by that in another video as well. So we were in two minds when we knew this was a possibility about a month ago. And you're probably wondering, well, why keep on building the house? Well, the more we put in the house, then the more we get back, because we get double the investment. So it made sense to continue, and that's the done thing there. When there's a compulsory purchase, well, we call it a compulsory purchase here in Scotland, in the UK, I think. We've no choice. So we carried on building without putting all the electrical cables in, because everything that we put in the house, we are offered the chance to take away before it's demolished. Or before we demolish it, we can take stuff away and use that for the next build. So not only do we get paid compensation for it, we also get to keep what we've been paid compensation for. But not everything, obviously. There's not that much actually we can salvage. So that's the latest situation in the house build. So what we're going to do now, obviously, is wait for that confirmation money to come through, which may take 2 to 3 months. Hopefully that'll come through while I'm still there, because I'm there till the end of January next year, and we'll start building another one. Was it a mistake? Did we not look into it fully? We kind of knew that there was an issue with the electrical cables close to our house, but we thought it was far enough away, and we were told that it wouldn't affect us because we were a certain amount of meters away from where the cables are going to be. But whether we were misled or whether we just it didn't really pay much attention to it, I don't know. I'm going to say it wasn't our fault, because we were told we were going to be okay. Am I upset? Yeah, I'm upset. We've not got a house to move into, which we've built. Either way, though, we gain. If we didn't have to demolish the house, we'd have a nice house to live in that we had built together, designed together, but as it's turned out, we're going to get a lot of money to build the next one. So it was a win-win for us, really, either way. But the decision just came through this morning. So anyway, just a little short video, just to explain the situation. But I'll possibly do another video at some time with a bit more detail about how we built the house, how we designed it, what it was, how it was built, the cost of the materials, and a step-by-step process of the build, if you like, for that house. The next one may be different. We'll do a video on that as well. So from start to finish with that, I'd like to set up a time lapse actually. I don't know how to do that now. How do you do a time? Do you leave the camera sitting out 24 hours a day? I don't think so. It wouldn't last long. I'd like to do a sort of time lapse video of the next house build. So if anybody knows how to do that, give me a little comment on the bottom. In fact, if you've got any comments or questions, feel free to comment on this video underneath. Even if you tell me how stupid I am to build a house knowing that it could be affected by electrical cables, but it's one of those things. We've just got to smile, deal with it, and move on. What else can you do? You can't get upset about these things. It can be seen as a blessing in disguise, really. So that's it. Folks, I'll leave it at that. So it's coming up for about 12 minutes long. You've seen some photographs of the build as I've been talking to you, and please feel free to comment and put comments underneath, and hit that subscribe button and the like button if you want. That will greatly help the channel, because I'm just starting to get it off the ground. And thank you everybody who's viewed the video so far, and certainly those who have subscribed so far, which is not many, but we got to start somewhere. And we'll be back soon with another video. Thank you very much for watching.